Hey y'all, today I'm man. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 10 of Sarazanmai. Wow! This anime just keeps on just figuratively tearing apart my emotions, chewing them, and then spitting on my face. And you know what? I fucking love it. Because this episode, you could tell they again brought their A game with the amazing writing. And who'd have thought that the Sarazanmai opening, all this time, it was right in front of us. Because this episode reveals that Reo and Mabu were compas all this time. And now that I think about it, it makes sense. They knew about the dishes of hope, Reo and Mabu. They also knew about, and then in the opening, they were even doing this. And now it makes sense why they were doing that in the opening, because they were compas themselves. So this episode was just a mind fuck, but a justified mind fuck. Because the series, they had bits of evidence here and there that they were compas, and this episode just brought it all together. And that's what really makes this episode amazing. There wasn't anything that could be referred to as an ass pull or a plot twist just for the sake of it. No, it contributed to the plot. And then what I love about this episode was it had a large amount of tragedy, like with the whole revelation about Reo. The reason why he wasn't showing love towards Mabu was because if he did, it would activate a bomb in his heart that the evil orders put in was such a sad situation, and it put into context all of his interactions with Reo and why he had to act that way. And that was just depressing. And then what's more depressing was when Mabu turns himself into a Kappa zombie, and then Reo's forced to go back into Kappa form to take on Mabu. It tracks the Shirodama, then gets those memories, and you see Reo all sad. It was a depressing scene too. And wow. And then when it ends off with Mabu at the end saying that he loves Reo, and then he explodes, was a depressing and sad sequence, I gotta say. And had the previous episodes not built up the relationship, it would have been like, meh. But since they spent the time showing us things like Mabu taking the hit for Reo and all that kind of jazz, it actually had impact and power. And that's why I felt from a story standpoint it was great, because I felt a large degree of emotions and sadness watching this episode. In a great way though, because this episode was just an amazingly written marvel. And then afterwards, when you see Reo distressed and about to kill Kazuki before Kazuki gets saved by Kuji, was also a great setup. And because last week we had Kuji's brother die, and naturally it was natural that Kuji was going to want to go back to town and get the 5 dishes of hope so that he can revive his own brother. And it made for the nice twist near the end where after Kuji shot Reo, he asked for the dishes of hope from Kazuki, but Kazuki's like no. And in the end, Kazuki used the dishes to revive Ensa. And I like how it also had the twist at the end where Kuji decided not to shoot Kazuki. But then we had another twist where the other self of Keppi pretty much takes in poor Kuji. And then it ends off like that in like an epic cliffhanger. And that's what I love about this episode. You had just epic moment after epic moment after epic moment. It just didn't give you time to breathe. It's like, jeez. So from a story standpoint, this episode was perfection. Oh, and it was also great to see that the reason why Keppi came to Earth was to fuse with his other self, the Dark Keppi, to try to take on the others. That was also nice, and it puts into justification as to why Keppi puts himself into danger. And then also did a great job of making me hate the others now, like a real reason. So that was also another cool thing about this episode. And from a character standpoint, it did fabulous. Like, for example, we had Kuji character development because he chose not to shoot Kazuki even though he used the dish on Ensa. He even admitted that he would have done the same thing in Kazuki's spot, and instead he just lowered his hand like that. It shows you the amount of growth that Kuji went through, because you gotta think about it. A boy of his age would at the time be thinking about reviving his own brother, and he would be emotionally distressed over that. So him at the start wanting to revive his brother makes sense, but him choosing to change his mind was a beautiful sequence, because it shows you that Kuji to an extent did become selfless, and that's what I really love. His amazing character arc. And additionally, aside from that, I love the character development we got with Mabu, with revealing that he did love Rel, even though it cost his own life. That was sad. And then seeing the character, the distress that Rel was in, like just shooting things randomly to try to get the dishes of hope, was also a nice sequence too, because it made him feel realistic, because it makes sense he would go through all this stress just to rescue his friend after what Mabu did for him. Was also nice too, I gotta say. It made Rel seem realistic, and it made his death tragic, because even though at the end of things he did try to get the dish of pulp on Kazuki, I still felt sympathy for him regardless. So the animator did a great job on that too. And it also did a great job of making the Odas a fucking hateable asshole, especially when the Odas saying shit to fucking Mabu that if you say that you love Rel, then this bomb goes off. It was just evil and maniacal, and it makes the Order feel like a truly evil motherfucker too on screen. So that's why I thought I did fabulous for all these characters. And I almost forgot to mention, but we also made a plot progression in regards to Ensa came back to life too. So that was also another nice element about this episode. And the art animation, fabulous perfection. No complaints there. Music got to my emotions in a great way. And that's what, taking all these factors into consideration, I'm gonna rate this episode a 10 out of 10. Honestly, this anime has been my favorite in the whole entire show. I mean, in the whole entire season, my god. And I'm honestly going to eagerly anticipate more. So anyways, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. Comment out your thoughts in the comment section below, how you felt about this episode. Rate the video, subscribe, and I'm just curious, do y'all eat cucumbers like I tried to in this episode while watching this episode? I mean, shit, I would have probably eaten this cucumber, but it was fucking expired and I almost puked, in case y'all have seen my live reaction. But I'm just curious, have y'all eaten a cucumber while watching this show? I'm just curious. And yeah, have a great and safe day, everyone. I'll see you guys next week if you subscribe for more. Alright, have a great and safe day, everyone. Bye-bye.